Hello everyone, Red Lip here. Las Vegas, the city where meat gets more smoke than a casino floor, and where barbecue pitmasters are becoming the new card dealers. Except they're dealing in brisket, not blackjack. You might think Vegas is all about celebrity chef steakhouses and bottomless buffets, but there's a secret revolution happening in the desert. A smoky, sauce-dripping, finger-licking revolution. The barbecue scene here has exploded faster than a jackpot winner's bank account. And we've done the hard work of eating through pounds of meat, so you don't have to waste your precious Vegas dollars on disappointment. Here's the million-dollar question. In a city built on illusions, which barbecue joints are serving the real deal, and which ones are just blowing smoke? Today, we're ranking the top 5 barbecue spots that have turned this desert oasis into an unexpected smokehouse paradise. We're counting down from good to absolutely legendary. And trust me, even our 5th place winner would be the crown jewel in most other cities. By the end of this journey through smoke and spice, you'll know exactly where to satisfy your carnivorous cravings without gambling on quality. Number 5. John Mole's Roadkill Grill. The time machine with tongs. Imagine driving through a quiet residential neighborhood where the only GPS coordinates that matter are the ones leading to a building that looks more like someone's backyard party setup than a Vegas institution. That's John Mole's Roadkill Grill for you. A place that's been smoking meat since the 1950s, when Vegas was more about cowboys than casinos. This isn't just a restaurant, it's a pilgrimage site for barbecue devotees. Guy Fieri himself made the trek here for diners, drive-ins, and dives. And unlike half the places featured on that show, this one's still standing strong. Let me paint you a picture. No indoor seating, just picnic tables under the desert sky. If you're visiting during our 115-degree summers, you'll be eating your ribs with a side of sweat. Consider it part of the authentic experience. The 3-meat combo arrives at your table like a meat lover's lottery ticket. Rib tips, brisket, and pork ribs, flanked by mac and cheese, collard greens, and cornbread. At $28.95, it's priced like a hand of poker you're guaranteed to win. Those rib tips? They're the dark horse of the plate, the underdog that steals the show. Texture-wise, they achieve that perfect crispy exterior while maintaining a moist, almost creamy interior that dissolves on your tongue. The ass-roma hits you before your server even sets the plate down. That primal wood-fire perfume that triggers something deep in your carnivore DNA. Seasoning is where these nuggets of pork really sing, with a dry rub that whispers rather than shouts, letting the smoke do the heavy lifting. The technique here is old-school patience. These aren't rushed through some conveyor belt smoker. The emotion they evoke, it's like finding your grandfather's secret recipe tucked away in an old cookbook. Pure nostalgia wrapped in sticky, smoky goodness. Their house barbecue sauce deserves its own zip code in Flavortown. It's sweet enough to flirt with your taste buds, but complex enough to keep you guessing, with layers that unfold like a well-shuffled deck of cards. Now, about that brisket. And this is where I have to be the bearer of tough news. It's leaner than a marathon runner's physique, which in brisket terms means it's missing that glorious marbling that makes Texas pitmasters weep with joy. Where there's fat, there's flavor. That's my mantra. And this brisket forgot to read the memo. Drowning it in sauce helps, but that's like putting a Band-Aid on a broken slot machine. It might look better, but it's not really fixed. The pork ribs, however, redeem the protein portion of this meal magnificently. They strike that perfect balance between tender and toothsome. Meat that releases from the bone with gentle persuasion, not falling off like it's trying to escape. The spicy barbecue sauce here could convert a vegetarian. It's balanced, bold, and remarkably similar to my own secret recipe, and I don't say that lightly. St. Louis cut means you're dealing with those pesky small bones, but the flavor payoff makes the extra work worthwhile. Mac and cheese at a barbecue joint should be a slam dunk, but this one airballed hard. Overcooked noodles swimming in a bland white sauce that tastes like someone described cheese to someone who'd never tasted it. The collard greens left me wondering if they forgot the South exists. As someone raised by a Southern mother who could make shoe leather taste good with enough seasoning, these greens were desperately crying out for salt, pepper, and personality. But wait, then comes the Flintstone-sized beef rib that changes everything. This prehistoric portion of beef arrives at your table like a carnivore's fever dream made manifest. It's massive enough to use as a weapon in a caveman movie, yet tender enough to cut with a stern look. The meat pulls away from the bone in sheets, each bite bursting with that deep, primal beef flavor that makes you understand why cattle are sacred in some cultures. The unexpected hero? They threw in some sliced beef on the side, apparently because they liked our camera. Next time, I'm bringing a whole film crew and asking for the entire cow. Their chili deserves a moment of honesty. As someone who's won the Malibu Chili Cook-Off multiple times, I know my way around a pot of red. No beans, thank the barbecue gods. Rich and meaty, but the spice blend needs an intervention from the cumin and chili powder departments. The baked beans, though? These are what side dish dreams are made of. Sweet, smoky, obviously made from scratch with the kind of care usually reserved for fine wine aging. John Moles isn't trying to be Vegas. Its content being a time capsule filled with smoke and tradition. Come for the beef ribs, stay for the experience, and leave with the satisfaction of discovering Vegas history that doesn't involve the mob or Elvis. Number 4. Lucky Cat Barbecue, where Texas meets Tiki. Picture this. A food truck parked in the desert heat, serving brisket with a side of Aloha spirit. That's Lucky Cat Barbecue, where Texas smoke gets laid and Hawaiian plate lunch tradition crashes into Central Texas technique. This isn't your average roach coach. It's a mobile meat cathedral, where fusion isn't a dirty word, but a delicious promise. Operating without air conditioning in Vegas heat that could melt steel, yet people line up like they're waiting for concert tickets to see their favorite band. The combo plate arrives Hawaiian style. Your proteins lounging on a bed of white rice like they're vacationing in Waikiki. For $16.95, you're getting more than lunch. You're getting a cultural exchange program on a paper plate. That brisket glistens under the Vegas sun like a meat mirage you can actually taste. The texture showcases a peppery bark that's thick enough to provide resistance, but tender enough to yield to gentle pressure. The aroma combines wood smoke with coffee undertones from their signature espresso barbecue sauce. Seasoning here isn't shy. It's Texas proud, with enough black pepper to make you sneeze if you get too close to the smoker. The technique displays true pitmaster patience. This is low and slow, done right in a truck that probably gets hotter than the smoker itself. The emotion it triggers is pure comfort, like finding an oasis in the desert. Except the water is beef juice. That espresso barbecue sauce deserves a patent. Rich, sweet, with a bitter coffee backbone that makes you wonder why everyone isn't doing this. It's the kind of innovation that happens when someone asks, "What if?" and actually follows through. The mac and cheese delivers gooey, cheddar-forward satisfaction, despite slightly overcooked noodles. Hey, it's a food truck in 110-degree heat. I'm amazed they're serving anything that isn't charcoal. The coleslaw explodes with flavor. Tart, garlicky, and brightened with rice wine vinegar. It's not your grandmother's slaw, unless your grandmother was a fusion cuisine pioneer. Then there's the beef rib, a monument to excess that made the food truck visibly rise when they handed it over. This isn't just big, it's call your cardiologist and apologize in advance big. Seasoned with enough cracked black pepper to stock a spice shop, slow smoked until it reaches beef nirvana. The meat is so tender you could cut it with harsh language. So juicy, it should come with a wet floor sign. The spicy house sauce, spiked with sriracha and Thai chilies, lights up your palate like the Vegas Strip at midnight. The cold macaroni salad with tuna might divide the crowd. It's a Hawaiian thing that mainlanders either embrace or avoid. The kimchi acts as a palate cleanser, its fermented funk cutting through the richness like a dealer cutting a deck. Every element on this plate has a purpose, a role to play in the flavor symphony. The pork sandwich is an engineering marvel that would make MIT students jealous. Double-stacked garlic pulled pork, fit-cut pork belly, Asian slaw, and enough sweet heat barbecue sauce to drown your sorrows. This sandwich is what happens when portion control goes to Vegas and loses everything at the craps table. The pork is sweet, smoky, and sticky in ways that require a full roll of paper towels and zero shame. The slaw keeps things from becoming a total pork avalanche, adding crunch and acidity without the heavy sesame oil treatment. Just a light kiss of vinegar and garlic, like a whisper of freshness in a hurricane of meat. The banana pudding tastes like your cool aunt made it, the one who adds rum when mom's not looking. The macaroni salad brings island vibes that might confuse your mainland sensibilities, but trust the process. Lucky Cat isn't just good, It's track down this truck on Instagram and plan your day around it good. They're proving that barbecue doesn't need walls to be worthy. Just passion, smoke, and a willingness to sweat for your art. Number 3. Jessie Rae's Barbecue, the Sauce Boss's playground. Jessie Rae's occupies a bowling alley parking lot like it owns the place, which, in terms of flavor real estate, it absolutely does. This is where traditional barbecue gets an attitude adjustment and portion sizes that would make competitive eaters nervous. The building radiates that "I know I'm good" confidence. The kind of swagger you can only pull off when your barbecue backs it up. No fancy decor, no Instagram walls, just serious smoke and sides that refuse to play second fiddle. The 3-meat plate lands on your table like a delicious dare. Hot links, pulled pork, and brisket for $29.95. The mound of meat looks like someone raided a smokehouse and forgot when to stop. Those hot links snap with attitude when you bite them, releasing a flood of juice and spice that makes you understand why they're a signature item. The texture delivers that perfect casing crack, followed by a coarse-ground interior that's neither mushy nor tough. Aroma-wise, you're getting fennel, garlic, and enough smoke to set off a detector. The seasoning walks the tightrope between flavorful and fiery without falling into either extreme. Technique shows in the perfect char marks, and the way the casing holds all those juices until the moment of truth. The emotion is pure satisfaction, like hitting a bullseye on your first dart throw. The pulled pork arrives already dressed in a tangy Carolina-style sauce that knows exactly what it's doing. It's tender enough to spread with a stern look, moist enough to not need extra sauce, but you'll add it anyway because their sauce selection is legendary. The brisket here plays the hits without trying to reinvent the wheel. It's solid, reliable, and exactly what you want when you're 3 beers deep and need something to anchor your soul. But let's talk about what really sets Jessie Rae's apart. Those absolutely unhinged sides. The manic fries arrive, looking like someone let a mad scientist loose in the kitchen with a deep fryer and a dream. Crispy fries buried under cheese sauce, bacon, jalapenos, and pulled pork, then drizzled with barbecue sauce like the final brushstroke on a masterpiece. It's the kind of dish that makes cardiologists weep and customers cheer simultaneously. The cheesy corn combines sweet kernels with enough cheese to qualify as a dairy emergency. The baked beans balance sweet and savory with chunks of meat that prove they're not just opening a can and calling it a day. Their sauce bar reads like a barbecue United Nations. Carolina Gold, Texas Hot, Memphis Sweet, and a house special that tastes like it has a secret it's not telling. Each one complements different meats, turning your meal into a mix-and-match flavor adventure. Jessie Rae's understands that barbecue isn't just about the meat. It's about the entire experience. They've created a place where every element, from the pickles to the cornbread, feels like it matters. Number 2. Wild Fig Barbecue, the Sophisticate Smokehouse. Wild Fig doesn't just raise the bar, it builds a completely new bar and makes everyone else wonder why they were aiming so low. This upscale smokehouse brings refinement to roughneck cuisine, without losing the soul that makes barbecue beautiful. The space feels like what would happen if a pitmaster married an interior designer and they compromised beautifully. Clean lines, warm lighting, and an open kitchen where you can watch your brisket dreams come true in real time. The meat sampler for 2 arrives like a carnivore's chess set. Strategic, beautiful, and ready for serious players. At $76, it's positioned as an investment in your happiness, and the returns are immediate. That beef rib transcends mere food and enters the realm of edible art. The texture achieves that perfect pull-apart tenderness, while maintaining enough structure to remind you this was once attached to a living creature. The aroma carries notes of oak, black pepper, and that indefinable essence of perfectly rendered fat. Seasoning stays simple. Salt, pepper, and smoke doing all the heavy lifting without unnecessary flourishes. The technique on display here separates pitmasters from pretenders. This is what happens when someone truly understands their craft. The emotion evoked is something close to reverence, like tasting something you'll measure all future barbecue against. The brisket arrives sliced thick enough to appreciate the smoke ring, a pink halo that proves this meat was loved properly. Each slice holds together until it hits your tongue, then dissolves into beefy bliss that makes you close your eyes involuntarily. The pulled pork gets the royal treatment here. Not shredded into anonymity, but pulled in chunks that maintain their integrity. The chicken, often barbecue's forgotten child, gets redemption with a crispy skin that shatters to reveal meat so moist it seems impossible. But Wild Fig's true genius shows in their sides, which refuse to accept supporting role status. The Brussels sprouts, glazed in balsamic until they caramelize into candy-coated vegetables, would convert any sprout skeptic. The coleslaw gets hit with garlic, transforming boring into bright, forgettable into unforgettable. It's proof that sometimes the smallest changes make the biggest differences. The smoked mushrooms arrive looking innocent enough until you taste them and realize they've absorbed every good flavor in the smoker. These aren't just sides, they're co-stars, demanding equal billing. The buttermilk chess pie closes the show with Southern elegance. Smooth, custardy, and priced at just $5, like they're doing you a personal favor. It tastes like tradition, like someone's grandmother's recipe card finally found its proper home. Wild Fig doesn't shout about its quality. It lets every perfectly executed detail speak volumes. This is barbecue for people who appreciate craft, who understand that excellence lives in the details most people overlook. Number 1. Soul Belly Barbecue, the undisputed champion. Ladies and gentlemen, we've arrived at Barbecue Nirvana, where Soul Belly has built a temple to smoke and meat in the Las Vegas Arts District. This isn't just the best barbecue in Vegas. This is barbecue that would make Texas pitmasters pack up and move to the desert. Located in a once gritty warehouse district, now pulsing with creative energy, Soul Belly represents everything barbecue should aspire to be. Chef Bruce Kalman, a Top Chef alum with James Beard nominations, didn't come to play. He came to dominate. They imported offset smokers straight from Texas, because if you're going to do something, you might as well do it right. The result is a smokehouse that's earned a cult following among locals, visiting chefs, and anyone who understands what real barbecue tastes like. The chef's combo for 2 arrives on a tray that requires structural engineering to support it. At $89, it seems like a lot, until you realize you're essentially getting a masterclass in meat for the price of a mediocre show ticket. That brisket. Sweet mother of all that is holy, this is the brisket that other briskets tell their children about at bedtime. The texture achieves that impossible balance, where it's firm enough to slice cleanly, but tender enough to pull apart with a gentle tug. The aroma fills your nostrils with such pure, concentrated essence of beef and smoke that you'll want to bottle it as cologne. The seasoning creates a bark so perfectly calibrated, it should be studied by scientists. The technique here represents generations of pitmaster knowledge, distilled into each perfectly smoked slice. The emotion is overwhelming. This is the brisket that ruins all other briskets. The one you'll dream about on cold, lonely nights. The fatty cut is so good, it should be illegal in at least 12 states. Rich, bold, with umami flavors that make your taste buds stand up and salute. Each bite delivers layers of flavor that unfold like a perfectly plotted novel. You don't need sauce. Adding sauce would be like putting ketchup on a Wagyu steak. The crust development here deserves its own documentary. It's deeply seasoned, creating a textural contrast that makes each bite an adventure. The turkey, yes, turkey at a barbecue joint, delivers complete redemption for every dry Thanksgiving bird you've suffered through. Moist, tender, gently smoky, proving that in the right hands, any protein can achieve greatness. The hot links snap with authority, releasing a flood of perfectly seasoned pork that makes you understand why they're a Southern staple. The cheddar and hatch chili sausages bring New Mexico to Nevada in the most delicious cultural exchange possible. The ribs don't fall off the bone because they respect you enough to maintain some integrity. They've got just enough chew to remind you that you're eating actual meat, not protein pudding. 3 house-made barbecue sauces. Carolina style, sweet and spicy. Each one deserving of its own product line. You'll want to try each one with each meat, creating flavor combinations that make your mouth throw a party. The sides here don't just accompany, they complete the experience. Mac and cheese with house-made pasta and breadcrumb topping that crunches like applause for your good taste. Baked beans that taste like someone actually cared about them. Sweet with a mild kick that sneaks up on you. The cornbread arrives warm with cold honey butter, creating a temperature contrast that's pure genius. The house-made bread and butter pickles deserve their own shrine. Sweet, crunchy, spiced with mustard seeds and turmeric. Exactly like Grandma made. If Grandma was a pickle perfectionist. The banana pudding transcends its humble origins, becoming something closer to banana tiramisu. Rich custard, fresh bananas, cookies melting into creamy layers, topped with pralines that add textural interest. The Oreo cheesecake is what happens when childhood nostalgia meets adult execution. Creamy, rich, with real whipped cream and crumbled Oreos that make you forget you're supposedly too full for dessert. Soul Belly isn't just serving barbecue. They're creating experiences, building memories one perfectly smoked bite at a time. They make everything from scratch, including their own beer. A light, weedy brew that pairs perfectly with everything on the menu. This is more than a restaurant. It's a love letter to the art of smoking meat, written by someone who truly understands the language. When locals and professional chefs agree on something in Vegas, you know it's special. The final verdict. Vegas has quietly transformed itself into a barbecue destination worthy of pilgrimage. From John Mole's time-tested tradition to Soul Belly's modern mastery, each spot brings something unique to the table. These aren't just restaurants, they're keepers of the flame, literally and figuratively. They're proving that in a city built on excess, sometimes the most excessive thing is the dedication to doing something perfectly. Whether you're craving Lucky Cat's fusion innovation or Wild Fig's upscale execution, Vegas has you covered. Jesse Ray's brings the attitude, John Mole's brings the history, and Soul Belly brings everything together in smoky perfection. Skip the casino buffets and the celebrity chef steakhouses for a night. Find yourself at one of these temples to smoke and sauce, where the only gamble is whether you have room for seconds. Your taste buds will thank you, your Instagram will thank you, and your soul will understand what barbecue is really about. Remember, mention Red Lip sent you at Soul Belly for 15% off your meal. That's real money in your pocket for more brisket. So next time someone tells you Vegas is all flash and no substance, take them to one of these spots. Watch their faces change as they bite into real barbecue. The kind that converts skeptics and creates believers. These pitmasters aren't just cooking meat. They're creating edible arguments for why Vegas deserves respect in the barbecue conversation. And trust me, after tasting what they're serving, you'll never look at Vegas dining the same way again. Until we eat again, this is Red Lip saying keep it smoky, keep it saucy, and always save room for one more rib. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and let us know in the comments which Vegas barbecue joint owns your heart.